A MAGA newscaster said something so outrageous about Ghislaine Maxwell that it went viral overnight, and today it has people wondering, is this a new talking point for the extreme right, and is it a signal that a Trump pardon is in the works, or will talk like this further enrage the base that is already stewing over Trump's effort to make the Epstein story go away? I have the breakdown for you next. Let's begin with a brilliant report by Ari Melber that shows the leverage that Maxwell is already exercising over Trump, specifically her recent transfer to a minimum security prison that is sounding the alarms because it's unheard of considering the crimes she's been convicted of. Have a look, and on the other side I'll show you that rogue newscaster who is trending today because of a conspiracy theory that can only exist in the darkest corners of Trump world.
The lawyer for the only person in prison for Epstein crimes, Ghislaine Maxwell, she has now been moved to a minimum security prison in Texas. This is unusual. It is suspicious. It comes after her suspicious DOJ interviews and where Trump wouldn't rule out pardoning her. This looks like help for her. Looks like leniency. Looks like a reward. And the reason it looks like that is because, A, there was no automatic sort of legal process that would just lead to this. B, it is in direct contradiction with the rules. You know how we have written rules? They're not laws. It's not a crime to move people around as an exception. But the BOP, the Bureau of Prisons, has rules that convicted sex offenders cannot get this type of better minimum security prison. So I just want to pause here and tell you what's happening. Say you think the Epstein story is sometimes overblown. Say you think it's become political and the right wing's doing this and Democrats then jumped in, but Democrats weren't talking about it last year, and it all kind of seems like a lot of noise. Well, this is a day today where the noise and the politics have turned into action, and that action is to help the surviving Epstein conspirator. But let's hear what these Epstein victims and family members are saying today, because they are outraged, saying it is with horror and outrage that we object to this, what they call preferential treatment. She should never be shown any leniency. And these are people who've lived this, these family members. And they didn't say this a year ago. They didn't say it at random. They are saying it in response to this unusual sweetheart prison deal for the Epstein conspirator. Quote, Trump has sent a clear message today.
Many experts are sounding the alarm given the heinous crime she orchestrated and participated in, and the families of the victims are outraged by this latest move, so the only argument is the ongoing severity of her punishment, right? Think again. Enter Greg Kelly of Newsmax, who is one part Ted Baxter and one part Alex Jones. Watch as he declares that Maxwell did not do what multiple victims have said she's done, and plants a big seed for Trump.
Well, Ghislaine Maxwell didn't have a friend in the world. He could have easily gotten away with saying, what the media wanted to hear. But he didn't. And I find that remarkably human, and it's telling, and it signals to me that there's something else going on here, and that it's an injustice. It reminds me of when President Trump, among anybody in the country really in public office, he would talk about Ashley Babbitt. Do you remember that? And he gained nothing, really, politically, from talking about that. I mean, he scored points with me and those who know the truth about Ashley Babbitt, but there are a lot of folks, Republicans even, a lot of folks did not want to talk about January 6th. He did. He did. It reminds me of the kind of this, has the same feel. Ghislaine Maxwell, he would talk about, and he did it in a certain way. Now, folks, I know people are horrified when I say there's a possibility that this individual just might be innocent. But think about it. Who's told us about her? The most reviled institutions in America, right? The media and the Biden Justice Department, right? They did the heavy lifting on this stuff. And Jeffrey Epstein pleaded guilty. He's a dirtbag monster. Does that mean Ghislaine Maxwell is? I don't think so, folks. That's not the way our society works. Not the way it's supposed to work at all. There is so much exculpatory evidence here that nobody understands, that it looks like the government kept from the defense, which is illegal, juror misconduct, you name it. And look at what happened in that court, right? Prosecutor pointing the finger, all right? Just remember this image for a moment, all right? Ghislaine Maxwell's on the left, the government attorney pointing her finger right there at Maxwell.
And the political pundits have lit Kelly up like a Proud Boy torch. Mehdi Hassan said her prosecution happened on Trump's, not Biden's watch. These clowns have utter contempt for facts and their viewers. Ed Krasenstein said, "Mark my words, Trump will pardon Ghislaine Maxwell, and she'll say exactly what he wants her to. The setup? Right-wing media is already seeding doubt about her guilt to give MAGA cover when it happens. Only the fully brainwashed will fall for it." And Ron Filipkowski commented, "The depths of depravity that the mega cult will go to defend Trump is vividly illustrated by this clip where Newsmax brings the brother of on in prime time to trash one of the victims who is dead and call her a liar."
What would you like to say in response, and what should people know about Virginia, the late Virginia Giuffre?
Look, the simple position is that it is Virginia Giuffre who has lied about her role and has lied about my sister's role.
Sadly, I don't think this is going to end well for us democracy-loving and justice-seeking Americans. Trump has always been transactional, and this may be his most tremendous transaction ever, like the world has never seen before, believe me. There is something that he desperately wants from Maxwell, and that is to keep his name out of her mouth. And if she happens to bury some Democrats along the way, that would be a bonus. And he has something that she desperately wants and only he can deliver. That is a pardon and her freedom. And I just can't see any scenario where two people with corrupted souls won't broker a deal that serves their mutual and nefarious interest. And now I want to know what you think. Please leave a comment below and let's continue to occupy democracy together.
I hate Occupy Democrats.